how to keep the watercolor paper flat after the painting. It's always a very common problem, and we all have these questions as we try to learn how to do watercolor painting. I have a few things I want to share with you. So first, let's take a look at what the available forms that the watercolor paper came with. The first thing is a watercolor paper block. Paper, they already been glued in all sides and only leave about an inch for you to take it out after the painting's dry. And this is already prepared. Take a look at the watercolor paper block from Arches, which is one of my favorite brand. This is green colors, is cold pressed. The orange, it is raw. And this is brand new. Take a look at that. Very strong glue all sides. Okay, you see that black? I only leave here about 1 inch. After you finish the painting, until the whole paper dries, probably you want to leave it for a couple hours, even overnight. So making sure the whole painting dries, it will stretch back to completely flat. And then you use a knife to cut through here all around, and the painting will keep to be flat. Take a look at the different sizes of watercolor block. And this is 12 inches by 16 inches. This is very big size. This is 18 inches by 24 inches. Watercolor paper block, you don't have to do much to prepare the paper because already prepared. You use it again and again, the glue get weaker and weaker, and because it get older and older, and it will detach. And how to fix this? Get a piece of tape, make sure it's exit free, tape it on this side. And that will hold on the paper to the supporting board at the back. So that will be fine. Let's take a look at this one. This is already detached in multiple places, like here and here. And I just use the tape to tape it, so that will be fine. The second type, it is watercolor paper pad. And let's take a look at one. It has a ring on one side, and then when you open it, you open each sheet of paper. How are we going to prepare this? When it's a little bit more wet in one place, after it drying out in a different rate of speed, and it would have buggles, and it doesn't look good. And this is the problem we try to avoid. And how to prepare this? I have very easy, simple tricks. That is glue all sides. After the whole painting dry completely, and then you take the tape off, and that will be fine. So I'm going to show you just do one side. I would keep it about 1/4 inch on this side on the paper, cover that, and then I'm going to put it up here and stretch it. Make sure that stretch all the way to the back. Stretch it all the way to the back. And if you do the same thing on the other two sides, on this side, it's already holding on by the ring. So this will be fine. So this is how you turn a watercolor paper pad into a watercolor paper block when you need to. Since the watercolor paper pad, the same size, same paper, it's actually much cheaper than the same in watercolor paper block form. So that actually saves you some money. But you just have to do every single time when you do a painting, you have to do this preparation. The other form that we already know, that you can buy a whole sheet. And how you're going to do this? This is nothing come with it. It's not a pad. Definitely it's not a block. And how can we prepare this for watercolor painting? When the paper is small, I already have some paper already pre-cut. This is for me to going out to paint in location. Say this is Arches cold press watercolor paper. I already cut to this size. It's not too big. I have a board. This tape is exit free. And I'm gonna start taping all sides. When you are framing your painting, you have to have the edge to be blocked. So I just stretch the tape, making sure you're holding on all sides. Making sure the paper is flat. And starting from the middle and stretch the tape all the way this way. Okay, good. And then I tape on the other two sides. And then you can start using this watercolor paper. It already dry, stretch, tape it to the board, and so you're ready to start painting. And after you finish the whole painting, and keep it dry for a little while. Like say if you're not rushed to take it out, making sure it's just keep it like a couple hours and maybe overnight. And after the whole painting is already dry, and then you take the tape off, and then the paper will stay flat. Also discover another material is also pretty good. This is a 1/2 inch thick foam board. It's very strong, so you can use the foam board to support the paper. And last thing I want to just remind you, some tape, very important that you want to look at. This is exit-free tape, the exit-free tape, and this is I want to wet the paper and then I tape it. And in that case, you cannot use the regular tape. You will need to use the gum tape. This one is the gum tape. Paper hanging tape, gummed, so it's exit-free. So you can use it to tape it over. And this kind of tape is actually a lot more expensive than the regular tape. So this is a few tips for you, how to prepare your paper so the paper will keep flat after the whole painting process.